Times Square was a dangerous place. It was a Wild West atmosphere.
42nd Street, New York City, in the 70s isn't quite the New York City that we know today.
It had always been the center of a city that didn't sleep and had a voracious appetite for vice. But there came a point at which it was out in the open. It was advertised. It was on the theater marquees.
Gritty, dangerous, dirty, drugged out.
The seedy bars and the peep shows and the girls and the pimps and the cops.
The mob and politicos and how they had hands in it and the strings they were pulling.
All the grit of porn and street life of prostitutes and pimps.
Everyone's hustling. It's New York as well. I mean, there is definitely that thing about it. Everyone is a hustler.
These women were being put at peril in these parlors because it's such a dangerous job.
Massage parlors, these massage parlors are brothels. There's no massaging going on.
What is it like to be a woman who's a prostitute and gets involved in porn in 1971?
This is a look into that world, and not a Hollywood look. It's a real look into that world.
You just let it go like this?
Sure, why not? I need to make a living, too.
Prostitution. It was basically legal in Times Square.
The city, in some way, was allowing this, not only allowing it, but sanctioning it.
This from the captain? This is from downtown, and it's off the books.
They were being sort of pushed into this corner of the city.
Well, the police would round up the prostitutes and take them in.
Right, ladies, show and prove.
They had vouchers, which we depict in the show.
In you go, Thunder.
Goddamn Flanagan, I got it right here.
If you came up on a prostitute and she showed you the certificate, within 48 hours of her last bust, she could walk.
Have a good night, officer.
It's a total racket, and everyone knew it.
Get in the van, Ash.
The cops are doing their job, we're doing our job.
Egg roll.
We'll go, we'll get some Chinese, you know? Maybe like chill out for a second, put your feet up.
I'm guessing the charges don't stick.
Girls are back on the street by breakfast.
Apple take 2. Hey, Marker. What couldn't you love about all this, huh?
The bar that we are depicting became one of those places of like half demi-monde, half cultural attraction, where everybody somehow mingled, and a place that mixed all of the elements of Times Square.
All right, we're fucking open.
And became quite famous in its day.
In other words, you got pimps, you got prostitutes, you have porn actors, and then you've got people coming up from downtown. It was a welcoming place for gays at a time when gays were relegated to downtown. And they could come in there too, and transgender people could come in there. So it was a very interesting place that existed historically.
Good night. Thanks a lot. See you, buddy.
Where you been, girl?
These ladies have all become such good friends of mine. We spend a lot of time saying, can you imagine all those blowjobs, you know? We talk about the imagination part a lot, just kind of calling each other out, like, imagine this for a second.
What's it like for a woman to sleep with 8 strangers in one night? And then why does she take that hard-earned money and turn it over to this guy who hasn't done anything but show up in a nice suit?
You working?
Why?
Oh, hell.
That pimp-prostitute relationship seems to me like it requires giving up a piece of your mind.
You in pain. And you should learn to walk on your hands, bitch.
The best explanation is that if you've come from a home and you've been sexually abused or abused otherwise, you don't know what normal is. And you just want some protection. And these men come with sort of a hot, cold faucet, but the warm is so nice that it's worth the cold.
Just the two of us. It's about the money. That's all that matters at the end of the day. CC, he will go to like extreme lengths to make sure that that happens.
You give me my goddamn money.
Money, 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 money. A lot of times we think that the pimps are the one that's in control, but we find that the prostitutes or the women are a lot stronger than we would assume.
The ones who survive, our theory was that these women are surviving for a reason because they're smart and they learn the game and they learn the hustle.
Is this really New York fucking city, or did I fall off the Greyhound in Cleveland?
And the show so much is about hustle. Everyone's got one.
What's interesting about the two of them together is I think they both think they're smarter than they actually are. That's part of what makes their relationship both endearing and dangerous.
In terms of survivability, when I think sort of long-term, it is also a crapshoot. There are references to prostitutes who have disappeared over time, and they probably had their hustle too. It's simply a dangerous job, and we wanted to make sure that that was clear.
We need to loot no more, dude.
Everything is a means to an end, and everything's about money and survival. And how do I get what I want from that person? And how long do I play this game?
You take number 3, you got 2, and you, pretty lady, got 4.
Who the fuck rates number 1?
Drywall isn't finished in 1.
And so these parlors opened around Times Square and 42nd Street.
What, only 2 of them? The massage parlors flourished. It was basically legal prostitution indoors.
They gave a bit of their profits to pay off the police department.
For a place like this, I'm gonna say a weekly rate is $200.
And they were mob run.
So the low 40s works better for us. Yeah, these could work. That mob element was needed during that time to grease a few palms, make a few things happen, get some leases, work with the state liquor authority to make things move smoothly under the table.
Whole parlor element in the storyline. It sounds like a great idea at first, but this affects Cece and all the other pimps in a massive way.
No pimps in the joint when we're open, house rule.
Once the massage parlors opened, there were now places women could go that they didn't need protection in the same way. There was less of a need for the pimps.
Pussy's still the pussy. The money's still the money, but the pimp, who the fuck is he right now? They're constantly being kept on their toes and trying to find new ideas of how to keep the pimp game alive. Paid in full.
Here's the thing is that everybody was making money, but the laborers, meaning the women at the bottom.
Another day, another bunch of days.
As usual, the people that were doing all the work were making the least amount of money.
What's interesting to me is how the cops, the politicians, the mafia, the pimps, and the prostitutes, how they were all working together.
I'm not going to tar and feather the whole, the police force, but a lot of police were getting a piece of the action.
From the looks of things, 500 a week.
Everybody paid off the police in this era. This is the early 70s. Civically, New York was basically a third world country.
I think us getting a new captain is business as usual. I think he's gonna house clean.
A few police finally came forward and addressed themselves to it. And they had to form a commission called the Knapp Commission.
Trust me, I'm going to scrub this shithole clean.
Yes, sir.
At first, obviously, the police brass didn't want to hear it. These were unpleasant revelations coming up the ranks at them. But eventually, they had to do something. It hit the New York Times, and it became a bona fide scandal.
It just speaks to how much corruption that there was, and there was a lot of corruption.
You like movies?
I love movies.
All kinds of people were doing porn in the early days. It was sort of a tightly knit community. Everybody kind of knew each other, and they would say, hey, they're shooting some loops uptown. Why don't you stop on by?
Action.
People would go up there and they'd smoke some weed or whatever. They'd make a party of it, and they'd shoot these loops. Well, loops are just sort of short vignettes that you could see in the machines.
You got bit by the acting bug. I can see it.
I think what happens as you watch her go through the show is you watch someone wake up. I want to learn how to make movies. And once that happens, I think she's not able to just go back and put everything into little compartments.
Let's make a movie.
The prostitutes, they're starting to awaken to their agency. These women are starting to realize, hey, me doing this means you get, $1 and you get $1, and what do I get?
They have been sort of in the shadows, and now they have this opportunity to become a part of something big, socially acceptable, and possibly unbelievably lucrative.
Can't you raise this up a little bit?
I think a lot about this show is ambition and dreams and making things happen.
Thank you. So it's so American. It's sort of this
Yeah.
American dream moment, you know, with hardcore sex.
In '71, the obscenities laws began to change.
Well, we're coming in right at that point at which the Supreme Court had ceased to become the arbiter of what was obscene.
In this town, nothing's dirty anymore.
The mob had their hooks into a lot of different businesses, and once the obscenities laws started loosening up and being lifted, they saw the potential to make untold millions, which they did.
There's enough in this world for all of us to keep a hand in. With the dirty movies about to open up, why?
Deep Throat, which was the game-changing film of that era, was financed by the mafia.
It really became a moment in American culture.
All right, cut it. Very nice. Check it.
In 1972, Deep Throat premiered. It was shot for $100,000, which is a big amount of money for a porn film at the time. It premiered on 42nd Street, and it was a big event.
Movie stars were going to see it.
Hey, look, they got a carpet on the sidewalk and everything.
It's like the Grauman's Chinese Theater or something.
Yeah.
Suddenly, boom, porn was legitimized, at least for a minute.
And I think where the Deuce fits in to the collection of pieces that I've done at HBO is this piece is about sexual politics. It's about the modern commodification of flesh, of sex. We had to do it in such a way that it became focused on what was to be gleaned from the story rather than just a tour through, the sex industry.